but I'm cashing out today.
I love that. Can someone go back to back? Can someone win more than one map? Well, we're about to find out because map 1 is underway. So I'm going to hand it over to our amazing casters. Tiff, Dandro, take it away.
Woo! All right. Thank you, Katie. Let's get into it, Tiff. Map number 1, and look who we're starting out on. It's my pick, Smixy and Scummin'. And if we know anything about Call of Duty Warzone and me picking teams, this is not going to go well. Map number 1 for them because I caster curse like none other. But hey, I'm sending them the juju. I'm sending them the energy. As we kind of think about Vondel as a whole, Tiff, this is a different beast than Urzikstan, which a lot of people have kind of been used to for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen a lot of tournaments happen on Vondel. So I would imagine that Smixy, Scummin', a lot of these players, they have that experience. But for some of our new competitors, maybe our first-time captains, they are not going to be able to adapt as quickly as some of the people that did have that experience. And starting to think about just what the meta is looking like. Like, we do have a ton of bans here in the tournament rules. You're not going to be able to use LMGs, no marksmans, no shotguns. So it should help level that playing field. But something that you can't level is going to be the rooftops because everyone's going to be looking for high ground.
Everybody's going to be looking for high ground. They want to be able to play that. It's just so good, especially when we get these natural loadouts that eventually land on the map, right? Everybody is just camping a rooftop waiting to see what little guppy is flying in from the sky trying to grab their loadout real quick, right? And you can see that Smixy and Scummin', they've kind of, probably they know that that's what's going to happen. So very quickly, they grab that scavenger off rip. They hit this buy station. They get their loadout. And now they're kind of still sitting with a decent amount of cash, and they're going to grab some UAVs, probably grab some extra self revives if they need some extra materials, as they do have to kind of make their way into zone. But hey, cool part about this small map, it's not going to take you very long to be able to make this rotation and get on in there. Now, one thing they need is some eliminations. They haven't found anybody off rip, so they need to kind of start making that happen. We saw Smixy grab that UAV. I got to imagine they're going to pop it and they're going to start flying at some of these teams.
I'd imagine that Smixy is going to provide support from the rooftop while Scummin' kind of gets down in the mix of it. But with 27 teams left, some teams are already out of the lobbies. Good opening with the frag, and just like that, Queen Shadow's done and dusted. Let's hope the duo can get out of dodge. But here you go. When you play stacked on top of each other, you run the risk of immediately getting wiped, just like Smixy and Scummin' were able to do.
That's what we call a grade A slam right there. Smixy just hit the slide cancel, turns around, has the stick with that WSP swarm. Of course, 100 bullets in the mag. You're going to be able to take on multiple people round after round with this thing. So glad to see them making a quick work very early on, hopping on over. This is another team. There's so many teams we didn't get to talk about. Ken's Rosie and FIFA Kill, obviously both insane in their own right, teaming up here in the Sadie Hawkins. This is a squad that I think can actually probably make, you know, a lot of things happen, right? Ken's has been considered one of the best female Warzone players for a very long time. FIFA Kill obviously there as well. Well, they're taking on Lenzo, and you know that the duo has to be around here soon, going to be able to get that finish as they're looking for the other player.
Question is, was Bernadette able to scurry off with the life and try to prolong that team as we jump on to another massive duo here? It's going to be Careless Kitty playing alongside Aydan, and into the stairways we go. Congratulations on that knock and full onto Booyah. So we got to keep an eye out, I believe, playing alongside Merc. But you're right, 30 talented duos vying for 16 places for day 2. And already kicking things off, 2 eliminations.
I like this. You kind of hear Aydan kind of give us some comms. They're keeping the communication flowing between these two, right? And I think that's going to be something, a skill to really kind of hone in on in some of these teams when they have to work together. But unfortunately, Careless Kitty is going to get gunned by Smixy, who's on this rooftop with a Ram 7 in hand. Yeah, Scummin' and Smixy were able to kind of get those team shots going together. And well, we saw Booyah go down a little bit earlier. Well, here's their teammate marked by a skirt. Looks like Booyah ain't gonna be able to use that resurgence, get back on in, as they're just kind of making their way through this building, trying to be able to find someone. And yeah, somebody's on that roof. Not gonna let you take that zip and get that height too easily.
Just gotta play it super patiently and navigate throughout. Just waiting to hear kind of how those comms are gonna be working with her and Booyah. But I think this is really interesting, Dandro, because I was curious what the weapon choices would look like. Obviously, the Swarm, tried and true, but for the actual choice, as we get a good cleanup right there, the Ram 7 Look, I haven't even fully leveled it up just yet because I was grinding camos and that was one of the newer ARs added maybe about a month or so ago. But I haven't necessarily seen people bring it into the fray just like that. A good crack, they're gonna shut the door on you, but it's not gonna be enough. Take through the stairs. Can we chase down that Izzy operator?
Ooh, try to go through. They almost get there, but Becky Jew, unfortunately, not able to at least get one before getting taken out by Booyah. I love that you bring up the Ram 7, Tiff. It's kind of this weapon that has been a little bit sleeper for probably the last couple weeks. And when you're on a map like this, right, you don't need to really worry so much about that insane long-range usability that we're seeing with things like, you know, obviously in Big Map, we're looking at MTZ interceptors and Baz Bs. Now, we can't use the interceptor here today, but even the Baz B in of itself, like, it's a fantastic gun. But the thing about this Ram 7, the TTK is very similar to the Baz B, but you can actually equip this thing out that it just doesn't move. There's no recoil on it. And so when you're holding a rooftop and you get a split second to catch somebody who's trying to maybe, you know, trying to finagle their way through some of these buildings, having a gun that doesn't move is just going to allow you to find those eliminations so much easier. So I'm not surprised to see, you know, some of these players kind of gravitating towards that Ram 7.
Ooh, well, you heard Dandro here first, chat. If you're a Vondel grinder, equip that Ram 7. Get your kills up. I have faith in you guys. Slap it on, kid it out, and now the duo of T is fallen, and now she finds herself alone on the rooftop in one of the hottest areas of Vondel. Just trying to look for any kind of information that they can find, but for the most part, you've got to play it safe. 7 more seconds, you get your duo back.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a weird part of the map to play on, right? Any of these areas that have these rooftops, it's so easy to traverse just across the rooftops, right? And there's also usually a lot of crates on these rooftops too. So not only do you have to worry about some of these other players who are playing exactly like T right here, where they're trying to just kind of play the staircase and look around, but you have to worry about people flying in and being able to try to regain off of some of those crates. So you can have a lot of just sort of activity that happen on there. And you can see another team that's maybe trying to take this height, take these rooftops. It's of course Lalashi and none other than Breadman himself. Now Bread has been making a name for himself obviously in Warzone since the World Series of Warzone and before that, but being able to play alongside the duo. You mentioned in the top of show they wanted a 70-game win streak, which was insane. So we know the chem is there, we know they know how to play together, and Bread is just kind of one of the smartest minds of Warzone, and I would not be surprised to see them kind of making some flashy plays.
Yeah, you've got that right. But let's turn our tides. This is one of my teams to keep an eye out for. It's going to be Tifa playing alongside Dongy. So definitely looking to find much information, but you can see that just trying to keep the high ground, keep an anchored position and make sure that you can keep eyes on whether you're getting pushed or approached. But the fact that they haven't fallen yet is really good for me. I know Dongy has definitely proved himself and kind of still up and coming in the Warzone competitive, but has been playing and winning a lot of these custom tournaments that have been going on in the Twitter sphere, and just want to see that momentum move forward. Definitely played in the 75K Community Showdown alongside Kaylee. They won a few maps, so they want to carry that momentum here.
Good shouts on Dongy. I was really impressed with Dongy when it came to stage 1 of the open qualifiers of the World Series of Warzone. So I love to see kind of through that. Has been able to really make a name for himself. You can see him playing with the big dogs all the time now. Now has a lot of respect on their name as a competitor. But speaking of respect, this is a team you gotta respect. It is, of course, T and Hisoka. Listen, neither of these players really need an introduction here, all right? Like, if you've been following sort of Call of Duty, and especially any of the women in both multiplayer and Warzone, you know who T is, and you know who Hisoka is. This is a squad that's going to absolutely be gunning across the map. As you see, T is able to just barely survive by the skin of it, and is coming to try and be able to meet up with Hisoka as they're trying to make a rotation in. They want to be able to hit this zip tip to maybe be able to get in somewhere, but they think that somebody is around here nearby, and they're getting held down.
This is really tough, but able to find 2 more smokes, so that'll assist in the rotation. But this is where high alert is either going to drive you insane or give you all of the information that you need, because running high alert on Vondel, if you've got 5 people looking at you, there's nothing more paranoid than that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But granted, they have the UAV information up just behind them, but taking to the waterways to rotate in, this is going to be the safest way. But still, even then, someone behind me looking at them. There's a shark in the water.
I mean, I feel like if you're running high alert on Vondel, especially in a customs and everybody's playing their life, you might as well be at the rave, right? You're just seeing flashes on every side of your screen coming through here. I'm waiting for some Tiesto to start playing in the background while we're at it. As they're trying. Yes, exactly. Thank you for picking up on that. Sean J here on your screen. Long time Call of Duty competitor alongside Empathy, who Empathy has kind of been this little bit of a sleeper player. You know, you might not be as familiar, but has been playing competitive Warzone since the Verdansk days and has always kind of found themselves on squads, always a last minute pickup for some of these teams, and is a really solid player to be able to pick up for that kind of time because knows how to play their life, knows how to work with multiple different people. And you can see here, Sean trying to just stay alive to be able to get Empathy back in on it.
You can definitely tell. I forgot. I think Tifa is actually a mouse and keyboard player. So immediately when you start getting shot at, you start moving your mouse in big circles to try and maneuver away from that. But so far, so good. Dongi able to pick up a couple eliminations here as well, but they will need to move away from the top of Museum. Should there be someone just below, trying to use these peak holes right here can give you a nice advantage, but trying to play it safe, but still very well equipped. They still have their self-reses, and the smokes are going to give out information for the team that is below them. Just 29 seconds before they have to move. Still safe. Still safe and alive. My pick going well.
Your pick is definitely going good. I'll be curious to see maybe where Smixy's on the other side. As Dongi does take down Queen Loves Cake. So they're finding some success over here. Obviously, big fans of Pimp My Ride as they've made Exhibit their home, as they're now looking to just kind of find some of these picks from across. Don't want to have to move. I actually like this spot a lot, right? They can hold this edge of Exhibit. They can be able to look down across. They have height. And then as the zone starts to pull them in, they have all of this space that really just kind of lets them go to the low ground, and they can really decide where they want to maneuver around the map. But let's talk about this squad, Tiff, because this is a long, standing duo, both in the game and in real life. I'm glad that they're here. It is none other than Brittany Reigns and Big Tom himself.
Yeah, this duo is just absolutely phenomenal. They've played in so many of the Sadie Hawkins co-ed events that happened years ago, but Tommy, just as soon as we bring him up, gets completely laid out. Brittany spotted. She's traversing and trying to hardcore parkour these rooftops, but can she get out? Does lose the majority of her shields, but is still dancing to live another day, trying to head towards that buy station, but someone is going to be here, and unfortunately, the duo will fall in 9th place.
Yeah, that was actually Shifty and Selly who was able to take them out. So a very formidable opponent. You saw they were trying to do their best. Brittany just trying to get to the buy station to be able to maybe buy Tommy back. Obviously, if Resurgence is disabled, you got to be able to hit these buy stations to get in here, but Careless Kitty tries to be able to jump on inside, maybe gain a little bit of cover, but it's not going to be able to. Thankfully, teammate Aydan is there, going to be able to clean on up, and I think they might have a little bit of time to be able to get the res off. No, it doesn't look like it. Resurgence is disabled, so Aydan's going to have to either play this as a solo or get the buyback in there. Now, if there's anybody on this list that you're kind of confident that can play this sort of 1v2, maybe potentially to a win, it's going to be Aydan.
You're right above me. I can hear them.
That is true, but right now, Redmond and Lola on your screen, and they've got one of the longest rotations that they're going to need to make. 7 squads up and only 1 elim for Lola, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many eliminations you have so long as you're the map victor to take that $1,000. Now granted, the eliminations, the points multiplier, that will have a hand in for that seeding for day 2. But the 1K, you just need to win. And just like that, Dongi down, Tifa down, able to grab a knock before. But here's the deal. It's Selly, it's Shifty. That formidable foe that you mentioned is on the other side, and Tifa cannot catch a break because Selly is right there.
I mean, it's obvious these two are hunting. Selly and Shifty, they're playing with confidence in this map. I mean, look we've gone to like 3 different squads now who have all got eliminated by the 2 of them. So they're obviously maneuvering around the map. They want to be able to get into a strong position. Sunday and Destroy, though, are over here as well, trying to do the same. Somebody pushes from this side. Sunday gets some good shots and is actually able to find Empathy as Destroy is able to take down Sean J, but it's going to be a precision airstrike that brings them on down at the final moments. We are down to the last 9 players left alive, 5 squads remaining. So we are now into the 1.2 multiplier range, and there you go. It's actually the precision airstrike that took down Destroy and Sunday. Selly, Shifty, they are looking to continue their run here in the Sadie Hawkins.
Selly is on 10, Dandro. There is one person in this lobby against Shifty and Selly. Shifty, the cash bandit connoisseur. You probably know him from World Series of Warzone. You probably know him from a lot of million other ways, but don't count him out. Back with Selly. Looking to clean this one up, Dandro.
See the nades go on through, and yep, well, look who that was. It was Aydan at the end there, trying to play their life, trying to stay alive. Hey, second place isn't bad for Aydan, 1.3 multiplier. But kicking it off with a banger. It's Selly, it's Shifty, 22 eliminations, 1.5 times multiplier. Gonna give them 33 points to kick that one off. And, well, $1,000 in the pocket for taking home map number 1.
I mean, look, we were talking about it. Katie shouted him out at the top of the show. We knew it was going to happen. Shifty tweeted out here on Vondel looking for the 4-peat. And that is how you started off, especially with this 2-day $75,000 Sadie Hawkins. I mean, look, 22 eliminations, Dandro. That's just crazy. There's